not the shining personality you may have expected, but some of them are comedians, to say the least.
Funny.
I'm having a blast.
I just love, it's like, yeah, I've never beaten this person before.
It's
so
the
I'll
honesty,
probably
right?
lose.
Like,
Yeah, right.
like mathematically, like this is bad for me. But
I think that's like one of my favorite things about Smash is that just like sometimes A, miracles happen, or B, you just you walk into that set, it's like, man, it's my bracket even. But I mean, top 3 here at Critical Mass. It has been a crazy day. I know we came in a little bit late, but this team, the team behind the event has been chugging since like 9 a.m. this morning. And it's a one-day event, so they're going to have to start taking down setups soon as well. So big shout-outs to everybody here who's working on Critical Mass, obviously bringing us both in. I know you were on Melee this afternoon as well, so we need to disconnect our Pro controllers here. Now, if I'm Leviathan, a.k.a. Naito Sharp, a.k.a., whatever Sharp wants to be called today, I was about to say I would love to see the Zero Suit to start us out because Cloud Steve sounds miserable, but I'm looking at production screen right now, and I think Antimony Leviathan is 1-22.
It's
not
a lot. It's a lot to a little, but it's a lot to none.
There you go.
So
got one.
We could still maybe be racking up some more additions to that other column, but it's pretty interesting. There's been like some discourse semi-recently about, where Sephiroth kind of sits in the Steve matchup chart. So I was kind of maybe expecting or possibly suspecting if Leviathan is going to bring up the Sephiroth, but the Zero Suit has just been so successful that I'm not surprised to see it here either.
This is one of like my favorite Leviathan characters. I think when I first kind of like heard of Leviathan, it was the Joker Zero Suit Samus, and I think what makes Zero Suit Samus really fun for me to watch, like a lot of like prominent CSS, right? Like Leviathan, Doorstop, etc. The way they play this character is so fluid, and that is what makes it really just so fun. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about that boost kick there. Sometimes things just happen in this game, but I think as Antimony kind of alluded to a little bit earlier, the early game not going in Antimony's favor. Granted, we're able to stabilize here, and the first stock hasn't been kind of lost yet, but the neutral is so just Leviathan motivated.
Definitely. It's kind of like the wonderful part of Zero Suit Samus is like she kind of does get to dictate the pace of the match, whether that's slowing it down or speeding it up, which is something that usually Steve gets to do, but it's not necessarily like Steve doesn't get to do it in this matchup. It's just kind of like whatever player decides to take the initiative, and I think given the confidence disparity going into this, I think that Leviathan's the one who's going to kind of dictate the pace,
Absolutely. Still, though, Antimony, I think going with the game plan that they kind of set out was camp as much as possible. But the problem is that Sharp really isn't phased by it at all, saying, you know what, I guess I'll just kind of like retreat with the Zaire. I guess I'll just, wait for you to come to me because, I mean, still up ahead, going to get hit up off of the recovery, though. And now it's all Antimony. How do you get out of just this vortex here when Sharp is just constantly going in with chops and hits, and you got to get out?
Yeah, usually your best bet is to kind of go high, throw an anvil down, and at least if it doesn't hit, it gives you some room to breathe. But Antimony trying to swing back. The other problem is once you are at that deficit, you have to make something happen. And, now we see the other aspect of Zero Suit kind of slowing it down and then capitalizing when possible.
I love when players just like are so confident in their edge guard where they really just go off the stage. And now Antimony down 3 stocks to 1 here, 3 stocks to 2, will be able to find the minecart. But still, once again, I feel like every single player that I've seen today fight against Steve and is successful, just, hey, you know what? Boom, I'm going to be the one that comes in and just controls like match pace, and I'll just approach you. Even if you're behind a wall, I really don't care.
Right. And we see so many tools that Leviathan has to kind of get out of disadvantage. So even if some of those maybe some small missteps or wrong guesses, Leviathan can really just find the footing very quickly, get back to it, and kind of slow it down if necessary. So the Zaire, definitely the highlight of the match so far. It stays exactly at that mid-range, and it's just been working wonders. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but good pickup from Antimony, some good damage.
Trying to read the jump there with the back air, unable to find anything. So now Leviathan can just safely approach with the Zaire, like you said. And now it's all Antimony. How do we bring this back? I mean, the minecart hit and finding the diamond is a really good start here, but I mean, this is a huge advantage. Going to slide in with that up smash here, and now Leviathan going to be going up 1-0. granted losing a stock, but I don't know, like we said a little bit earlier, the Zero Suit's fluidity, the way that she's able to control this match, like you said, it's looking really hard for a character who's a little bit slower like Steve to really kind of get boots on ground, get comfortable, especially when Leviathan is so comfortable with just jumping over the wall and playing aggressive anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you have such a nice shifting of your hurt box as Zero Suit with that first initial jump, so you don't really have to worry about getting caught out by too many things. Obviously, flip kick is something that helps in disadvantage if you do kind of overestimate how much real estate you have to work with. And once you do get in there, you don't necessarily have to go and scrap close up. You can still force the issue with something like mid-range like Zair or threaten the grab or the Plasma Whip, which we saw work wonders as well. So it is a tough matchup. The problem is it's usually equalized by these sort of close quarters combat combos that we see from the Steve. The problem is Antimony never got around that Zair from Leviathan, so we didn't get to see those, but now we are.
Yeah, this is kind of the opening combo. If you're the Antimony fan in the chat, you've been wanting to see, right? You don't want to get your favorite player bullied all the time, but here we go. I mean, Leviathan, though, going to bring this back. I love when both players are playing super aggressively, because that's the Smash Ultimate I love, right? A very, like, patient game, and then just kind of finding the mark and then finding these combos all the way through. But Leviathan wants more, and I think it's always a big thing, especially with Steve, is trying to find your hit while Steve is either in minecart or jumping out of minecart, because reading jumps is definitely what Zero Suit does well.
Yeah, we saw right there, basically, like, functionally a jump read, although it was on the block. That back air sealed the deal. And having the speed to go in when they throw the minecart out and then punish it accordingly by using a back air or maybe something like boosted F-tilt. Really good stuff right there. Okay, gotta get out of there. Yeah, not fast enough. So we're going to get a big punish here to the up smash. Just about a dead even game. We got Iron Tools on deck as well.
I think something that Steve can kind of struggle with this matchup in particular is how far Zero Suit can jump away. So it feels like follow-ups at times can be a little bit more difficult here, but still Leviathan finding the Zair down, but Antimony definitely breathing life back into the gameplay here. Still, though, playing so aggressively. And that's the thing, right? We were talking about this a little bit earlier, how you can chase down Steve, and just while Steve is in that minecart, sometimes it can't be free game, but no iron there for Antimony to drop in, and that's going to be huge here. Going for the side special off stage, but still Sharp playing so slippery in the sky.
Okay, and the Plasma Whip kind of working like that Bayonetta F smash we saw earlier, going right through the house.
Right through.
Another minecart, though, with the last bit of iron, too, exactly when they needed it. Good stuff right there. Good pickup. But this wall causing a bit of a scramble here. Leviathan looking to even it right back up.
Yeah, and the thing is with Antimony here, now you have to decide whether you want to play it a little bit more passively or you want to play it a little bit more aggressively. But I have to say, Antimony, we've been talking a lot about Leviathan, but Antimony has brought this back so extremely well. We're starting to see kind of that signature aggressive gameplay that they're known for as well here. So now it is all Antimony. How do you kind of alleviate some of this pressure while finding the opening to get the pressure of your own? I mean, that's a nice start, but here comes Leviathan. And I think the more Antimony routes around the finishing possibility of a back air, the more successful they are going to be. But still, Leviathan always finding the combo into that back air, into that finisher is what is going to win it for him every single time.
Right, because you said, like, oh, just plot around the back air, which not necessarily the easiest thing to do, but manageable. However, plotting around that back air by going low led to the neutral air into back air anyway. Leviathan, really great pickup, good presence of mind for that follow-through. There's really no spot in that string to like lose confidence in it either. So going to get a wonderful pickup for the Leviathan fans. Going into game 3, right back on Pokemon Stadium. Definitely some great adjustments. We saw it right out of the gate. Antimony with an early string, bit of a lead. Didn't last for the entire game, but that confidence was important, and it looks like we're getting a little bit more of it here in Game 3.
Yeah, honestly, from games 1, 2, 3 now, Antimony has gotten more and more confident as the game goes, and you can tell just from the opening string every single time. Game 1, it was Leviathan finding the opening string that led into stock loss, and now in game number 3, Antimony's like, wait, hold on. Let me set the pace of the match, and now Leviathan is the one that has to find the opening here. But I always love when Steve's just kind of littered the field with just blocks, because it's like, what can you realistically do here? And it's such a pain here. But honestly, Leviathan doing such a good job of bringing this back here, going for the double up air, looking for the back air. But honestly, Antimony now catching on just a little bit by placing the block there. We just have to get out of this combo here, but Sharp so elusive in the sky, going to be able to find that first stock.
going for that flip kick, also a bit of a bait on the get-up attack too. You think like, oh, maybe there's just enough time to punish, but unfortunately, not really. Gonna get hit with that back air and a pretty nice route. I mean, Antimony had so many different ways to try and get around all of that stuff. Leviathan just throwing out so many options so quick, it's hard to plan for all of them. This is kind of the upside of Zero Suit Samus we're seeing right now, and the offensive pressure also not very bad either, keeping up that pressure on the ledge, and Antimony taking some creative routes, but Sharp just kind of covering all of them.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It doesn't really matter what your route is when Sharp has an answer for it all. 88% now, and honestly, this is a big lap here. I like just the landing up air, finds the boost all the way, and will be finding the star KO as well. And for us praising Antimony for coming out of the gate swinging in game 3 to now what has been, I mean, Leviathan getting up into a 3-stock to 1 lead, looking a little bit tough.
Yeah, I think that, you know, confidence that we saw kind of building kind of fell a little bit short here in this last game. Not impossible, though. Still going to try and make it back. 145 also is that percent exactly where you have to watch out for throws, minecart, things like that. One small misstep. Kind of closer to even it up, but it's going to be tough right now. Big deficit. Not a lot of resources to work with either. There's been a big iron deficiency here on Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, you hate to see that too if you're an Antimony fan, but still, Leviathan playing so aggressively here. I feel like Antimony just really can't get comfortable at this point. Triple up air here, trying to find that decisive landing, but the Zair is going to get parried. Leviathan, though, just looking for this slow chip, trying to find a way out here, but I like the horizontal wall coming out from Antimony there. That was a little bit cute. I just want to see a little bit more of a decisive kind of aerial here, and with Diamond, I can definitely get that order filled, but look at Leviathan just playing so aggressively and just catching the landing in with the up special, and that will be it for Antimony here, getting a very respectful 3rd at Critical Mask, and Leviathan will be going into Grand Finals.
Yeah, hopefully we have some sort of renewed confidence, because that winner's final set was closer than the score would dictate. Tough is also an adjective that I would not argue with. But, you know, we saw some really good movement here, really good shades of just solid neutral play, and kind of moving around Steve's options, right? And if there is a character you need to know how to move around, and their options, Rosalina fits the bill, to say the least. So hopefully that confidence and that sort of fluidity transfers over to Grands, and